Neutral. Well, good morning. Another cool, rainy day in Tennessee. Still raining here. Got a ½ inch last night. Got almost an inch the night before. But it's not raining hard and it's not flooding. That's a positive thing. I thought it was time to show the garden. I've got it planted pretty well. Everything but other than pumpkins and succession planting. Pumpkins are growing. If y'all seen my short video, I finally got pumpkin seeds that will grow. And they just keep coming up. I don't know what we're going to do with all of them. We're going to plant them somewhere. Yeah, this cool air is working on me, I think. Oh, let's get started in the garden. Thought I might show the garden off. Since we got it all planted. We've had to work in between the showers, but I just passed the plant up, didn't I? Pay no attention to the grass here. That's got to go. But like I said, it rains all the time. That there is a mini bustle tomato plant. I planted one over here by itself so I could collect seeds off of it. Don't know yet exactly what the tomato will be like. I've had people tell me, but I have never grew a mini bustle tomato. It came from a family that lived here in this county. They've tried to figure out the origin of it, but they don't really know where she got it and how it got started. But there's a lot of ideas. Let's just put it that way. We're gonna find out. These are my straight 8 cucumbers. There's, I think, 10 plants in here, but they are really doing good. They're spreading out good. If you see some oddball leaves like here and here, it's sunflowers. I bought some shorter version of sunflowers than the sunflower family. It ain't the ones that makes the seeds. But this something that had color. You know, I wanted some red, some yellow, some orange. They say that's what really attracts bees. They like the colors. Cucumbers are doing good. There's some small ones in there. They're not making anything yet because the sun don't come out good and bright and the bees don't come out when it's really cloudy. So we've got a whole lot of blooms doing nothing. I have found a couple of small cucumbers. More sunflowers. They're everywhere. I'm trying to get them there. My leafas, I've got 3 leafas climbing. Starting to put on little leafah blooms. There's a female one. It's going to have a little leafah. There's several in there. I've got 2 more to plant, and my 4th one in this bunch here has not made any runners yet. I'll have 6 on this eventually. I'm just glad they're still growing. The wind and the storm night before last jerked this loose from the post and throwed it up against the bean trellis where if you can look at. It didn't break the plants, thank goodness. But I've got it tied a little better. I tied it with I think it's nylon baling string. I had a piece off a bale, so. Now them were straight 8 cucumbers. These are Kentucky Wonder pole beans. They are just starting to climb. Sometimes they get together. I don't know why, but they all like to run in the same little wad. But they're doing good. We had a little hard start. All this rain washed out several. Some of them didn't come up. I've had to replant a couple. You can see small ones in there. Just plants that never showed up. Some of them done really well. I'm going to show you my onion bed, but I'm really disgusted with it. This had over 100 onions in it. And I put manure out of the chicken pen. Been there quite a while. I thought, well, nothing growing in it. It'll be fine. There wasn't no grass or anything coming up in it. So I put some in here and tilled it in, covered it back up, and I baked the bed all last summer. I put some in it on cardboard, laid cardboard in between the rows, put some more chicken manure in here, had it fertilized really well. And they some kind of seed. I'll have to look up and see what's in that bag of the high protein feed I gave them. It's not wheat, but it grows like it. It's if it's millet or what, but you can see that stuff has been so thick. We have pulled grass every week and pulled grass, and as fast as you can pull it, it's growing again. And you can see it's been watered pretty bad. I've got in and got a lot of stuff where the light can get to it, but it has been horrible to pull. With all the rain, it grew really well, and it's swampy, and it just wasn't a good place for onions. But they are growing. You can see a pretty good one there. There's several in here. They're starting to bud out on top, so they're probably done. They're not going to be big onions this year. I usually have some really nice onions out of the Alyssa Craig's, but they'll be small. They didn't get no light, and probably didn't get much nutrition, much fertilizer out of all this. But this looks a lot better than it has. It was almost chest high at times. It's amazing. But we got red onions. I ain't worried about them. It's a plus if we get them. It's not a bad thing if we don't. I always grow a couple different onion beds. These are my jalapenos. I've got a jalapeno or two already growing. They're little plants. I try not to let a little plant load up with any kind of fruit, you know, because it's just hard on them. I'd rather pick the small fruit off and let the small plant get bigger. These are garden peach. I had some garden peach tomatoes. Got from a friend a couple years ago. Cindy really likes them. She's not a tomato eater, but she said she can handle the yellow tomatoes because they're real mild. Bell pepper. I've got my ground cover mostly down and straw around them, trying to get them to grow good. Keep the weeds out maybe. Or sunflowers. I tried to stretch them through here. Yeah. Kentucky Wonder pole beans. Blackberries, yeah, they just about took over this end of the garden. Still, I got one bell pepper growing. I've let it stay on there. That plant's been growing really good with that pepper, so I hadn't robbed it yet. I do believe, though, that's the really large bell pepper. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's a very large one. This is a roll of heirloom tomatoes. It's just mixed. I got plenty of seed. I'm not trying to save the seed of them this year. There's Abe Lincoln, there's Mini Bustle, there's a Amish tomato. We don't even know what it's going to be like. I don't know, there's 3 or 4 different ones. But I planted these on this end of the garden because this is the cooler end of the garden. And the fence panels, or the feedlot panels as they call them, you go to Co-op to buy. It's our upgrade this year. It's one of the things we was changing. But if you'll notice, I always plant the tomatoes, well, this will be the west side. I always plant the tomatoes on this side, and the panels are always behind them, because the wind most of the time in this area comes from somewhere in the west. It might be southwest, it might be west. Occasionally get a northwest. But the majority of our rough winds come out of the west and blow to the east, so this gives them something to lay up against. Keeps them from tearing them up so bad. These are Goliath tomatoes, I believe. And they're already producing. I don't know if I can get that on the camera or not. these tomatoes in there. They are growing so fast. I just tied them the other day and they need tying again. I let them grow up the panel and I tie them with tore up shirts basically. You can, if you tie the shirt right, you can pull off probably a 40 or 50 foot strand off my shirts. If you pull them the wrong way, it tears in little pieces. You pull it the right way, it'll just make one long string. Somewhere in here, it goes into, I think some more Abe Lincolns. No, it's Mule Team. Mule Team's over here. Somewhere in here, it changes. You can tell by the size and the shape of the plant. This is a lot smaller plant. The Goliath is a big, heavy base plant, which I like. I'm probably gonna buy some more of them. We got lots of blooms. I haven't seen a tomato down this way. Of course, we got more sunflowers. My well got water up to the top of the second barrel, so there's a good 8 feet of water in there this time. It's getting better. These should be Jetstar and Jetsetter. Jetstar and Jetsetter are basically the same thing. The numbers, the size, the time it takes to grow, I mean everything's within just a few numbers of each other. So I mix them together. They're both hybrids. I'm not going to save seeds. But they do a really good job of growing in the heat. They seem to stand up really well. And you can see my plastic's been blowed. I got to weigh it back down. I was trying to get the staples and the plastic, get the plastic down, the staples in it, but weather caught up with us. More Jetstars and Jetsetters. I snapped that one off. Trying to clean them up. I do prune my tomatoes. I haven't been down this far pruning. I had the grandboy here yesterday and he's more hands-on than I can do and actually work. If he's outside with me, you got to keep up with him. That's a good thing. This one here is a Praxis cherry tomato. Can't buy the seeds. It came from a friend. Geeky Gardens gave me the seeds to it and the garden peach. I think it's a really good little cherry tomato. Big cherry tomato to me, but more sunflowers. There are like 3 different ones mixed together. Now we're getting into more hard to see stuff, I guess. Of course, these are my cantaloupe, Hill's Best. I just planted a few hills. They do good, it'll give us all we want of them. Feel soft out here. This is my okra. I planted it a little close because I was having the planting in between the rainstorms, and I got it a little closer to the fence than I wanted it. But it come up and it'll be fine. It'll make a good sun shield for the tomatoes. I like okra, don't get me wrong, but I also plant it because it helps block the sun off the tomatoes, and we keep tomatoes longer if they can get a little break in the hot sun. Break during the day helps a whole lot. I had to replant and all these washed. They completely was gone. I had to start over. But I've made it to here. That's good. I give up on the rest of it. Lots of stuff washed. So you can see the corn. You hadn't seen me explain it before. I planted it a little different than some people. You'll see a rogue potato here and there too. I forgot about that, but I just seen it in my eye. Caught it in the corner of my eye again. But anyway, this is incredible sweet corn. I planted a single row, basically a really close row. I call it a double row, but they're really further away than a double row. somebody's cat. Another, I guess you'd call it a double row. So they're actually spaced quite a bit apart. They're 18 inches apart from each other in a single row. I've done this for pollination. I'm trying something. So I was talking about, I don't know, it's been a couple months ago, we was having a video. I was talking about being in school, and I took a shop class, was plant resources, animal resources back in. It had different names like that. Every time we got in trouble in the shop class, we had to write out of the book, the corn book. I learned the first 2 chapters really well. And that was about planting corn and about pollination and about different ways to pollinate. Some of that stuff's come back, you know, in memory. I'm trying it. Incredible Sweet Corn does really good here, but I wanted to see if I could get a better pollination by changing up the way I plant it. This woolly mess, which I hadn't got in to clean up, well, is mostly sugar snout peas and grass, but they're all kind of wadded up there together. There's some Red Ripper peas in it because I planted them last year, and I don't think you can ever get rid of them. They just keep coming back. There's one of them. These are my, what was they? They're the small watermelons. Like a baby-sized watermelon. I forget which one it is, but I planted them where the English peas was, because the English peas decided not to come up. They was old seed, I give it that. It's like the lima beans I planted down at the other end, they didn't come up. Of course, you can see the wash. This was a hilled up dirt here. It's all down here now. Tree I hadn't got back in here, it stays wet. But all that up there is down here now, because this is a hillside. It looks flat on the camera, but it's actually got 2 or 3 feet of drop. I've cut the hill down over the years. It used to be worse. You can see there's almost a 3-foot rise up there out of the garden. I just kept plowing and kept pulling the dirt with the tractor until I got it a lot flatter.